Uncuckables.
Hello everyone and welcome to the second ever Tuesday Uncuckables. Now we've got our two regulars here in the studio for what is now a twice a week production. Of course, I'm Tim Wilms, Editor-in-Chief of the Unshackled, here in the studio, and joining me right here is Richard Wolstencroft from the Report from Tiger Mountain and Director of the Melbourne Underground Film Festival. How are you?
Good. How are you? Got my toilet paper, just in case of emergencies. Anyone needs to blow their nose or rush to the toilet, we're all set, mate.
I think at the moment, because we've been flashing the toilet paper on various Unshackled productions this past week, it's not
drowning in it.
Some Antifa vandalism we have to worry about here at the studio. It's
our own
toilet paper hunters coming in and ransacking, getting the supply. That's what we're going to worry about now.
This is true.
And we've got in Sydney, Penney from Channel Reg and New South Wales Patriots against the extreme left, which you've brought to Telegram as well.
Yep, sure did, Tim.
How are you, Reg? How's it going? How's it going up there in Sydney?
Oh, not too bad, Richie. Everyone's just got a bit quiet lately on the shopping centres. All that, just
everyone's fucked off, haven't they?
A little bit empty and all that.
Are you sorted for? Are you sorted for toilet paper?
Yep. Yeah, I got toilet paper. Yeah.
I think everyone's just, it's definitely a bit of a left and right wing thing I've noticed on Facebook. It's like all my left wing friends are all like, "Where's my? I go to the supermarket at 3 in the afternoon and there's no toilet paper." It's all right. You've got to get up at 6. You got to get up at 6 a.m. and get down there when the shipment comes. You got to talk to your Coles or talk to your Willies or talk to your Leos or whatever and say, when is it coming in? And then, be there because it disappears in like an hour or two. And then you get riches. Look at this, riches everywhere. So, it's great.
Yeah, I know.
James
Fox just gone.
James Fox Higgins, who used a voice that you heard singing the original 1879 Advance Australia Fair, he's in the chat tonight. He said, "Toilet paper is the new symbol of white supremacy. Don't you know that persons of colour are struggling out there in the aisles to get their fair share of toilet paper?" Not from the footage that I've seen on social media. Plenty. It's a diverse range of Australians who are buying lots of toilet paper.
Yes, everyone's needing the dunny paper, and there's been fights. There's been ethnic fights over. Have you noticed that? There's this famous footage that's going around. I think it's been played on, what's his name, the Andrew Bolt show just before, and it was like a black woman and a white woman, like they're kind of like getting into a fist fight over a bunch of quilting. Terrible.
Everyone's just lost the plot. Everyone just wants to get fight over toilet papers and all that. There's alternate things in the toilet paper. You can use a communist flag as a toilet paper.
Well, sure.
Chinese communist flag and all that. So yeah.
Some people have suggested The Age, or what's the left-wing newspaper up in Sydney?
Sydney Morning Herald.
The Sydney Morning Herald, of course, can always come in case of emergency. So there's always that.
I did mention this on.
There's the monthly.
On Trad Tasman Talk last Friday, but it's worth mentioning again that it was pointed out by one of the Sydney radio DJs that if you want some cheap toilet paper, Mike Carlton's autobiography came up for $4. And you're on Twitter, Reg. Have you encountered Mike Carlton? Mike Carlton, have you encountered him on Twitter?
I think so. I don't know. I might have to check that out again.
Yeah, he's incredibly abusive, and he didn't take kindly to somebody mocking that his autobiography had been discounted. He's the angry old lefty ex shock jock on Twitter. He's constantly blocking people spewing abuse. It's quite funny, but also sad.
Well, I actually posted this thing on Facebook. I posted this thing on Facebook going, it's a bit of a left-right wing dynamic because right-wing people are kind of a bit more survivalist and a bit more prepared. So they've basically built up a kind of like, war chest of toilet paper. We've all got like 10 big packets of it hidden away somewhere. And the left-wing people are kind of, the government will look after us, like everything's going, like big government will save the day. We need toilet paper. Scott Morrison will turn up on our doorstep with a fresh roll. Well, that hasn't happened yet, So I've said to them, I tagged a couple of the couple of left-wingers who still keep me on their page, and a couple of them, they didn't untag themselves, so that was good. So all these left-wingers are like, where is this fucking message turning up in my fucking newsfeed? And I suggested they all be put back into diapers, you know what I mean, all left-wingers, because they don't, obviously they don't have toilet paper, so put them back into diapers. I thought it would be very fitting, and of course they're all getting fucking pissed at this. I'm trolling them like a complete legend, and I think everyone's having and the way they got so upset, it was unbelievable. It's on my page on Facebook if you want to check it out. It's hilarious.
And also at the supermarkets, because it started with toilet paper, paper towels have been next, then tissues and napkins, now baby wipes, and they are actually running out of diapers as well. I'm not sure if that's just mothers stockpiling or just a last resort.
Not a square to spare, as they said on Seinfeld. There you go. We've got spares to square. We can just like smoke. We can throw them away here at the Uncuckables. We're so well stocked with toilet paper. We're just winning. We're winning like Donald Trump. There's so much winning going on down here.
Now we are live on the Uncuckables YouTube and D-Live channel. So if you're in the YouTube chat,
yes.
I've been putting in the entropy link where you can ask us a question, or even better yet, send through a super chat through the currency and amount of your choice. Over on D-Live, you can send us through Lemons, which is the cryptocurrency of the platform. The entropy poll that I've just put in is Hillary VP, yes or no, because we will be talking about Super Tuesday, the sequel, tomorrow.
I say yes. I mean, Hillary would be so much fun, wouldn't it? I mean, Joe Biden's a definite dud, and Hillary joining up with Joe, that would just be fantastic, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? What do you think? Do you think she should run with Biden as VP?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
But I mean, as a joke, you know what I mean? Like, not as a joke, but as like a, I don't know. I just think, she would definitely seal Biden's loss because, no way that Biden's going to win,
People are saying that my sound is not as loud as yours because Richard speaks louder. So the solution is just move the microphone away from you.
What have you done now? My mic's gone.
So Richard should be less now.
Do I sound better? I have a louder voice. All right, good.
Yep, cool. That's one way to solve the sound thing. Because
move the mic further away from Richard.
Yeah, when we're editing, because we just filmed a few Report from Tiger Mountain episodes, I have to make sure that Richard's a safe distance from the microphone so he doesn't make the gain go. Was that loud enough for you?
Yes.
Loud and clear, mate.
And can everyone hear Reg okay as well?
Reg? Can anyone hear me well? Hello.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
1 2 1 2.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Well, we can all hear you.
So what's on the show tonight, her leader?
Well, we've just talked about the great toilet paper panic, which is it's an offshoot of the Corona panic because people are thinking that they're going to be quarantined for 14 days and they'll be shut off from the rest of the world.
Yes.
And so
what happens if you get quarantined? What happens then? Do you know?
Quarantined? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess you just can't go anywhere for 14 days.
So you stay in your own home?
Well, in the facility, yes.
Oh, there's a facility?
I don't know the specifics, but you can't come into contact with other people. Uh-huh. That's why the Morrison government had, when it was just China where the cases were, the outbreak was, those who were coming back from just Wuhan in China were going to be quarantined on Christmas Island because
why not?
It's an island.
Leave them there, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the people who were coming back were Australian citizens.
Wow, we can change that. A little bit of paperwork. Couple of rolls of toilet paper to the right person. Scott Morrison hand out a few toilet rolls, and I'm sure we can change that situation.
Do we want to look at the statistics for the coronavirus at the moment?
Yes, Tim.
That's what
We'd
I did
like
on
to
my
look at the
Wilms
statistics
program last night. Here we go. So,
wait, mate.
China has got 80,000 cases. They've had 3,000
Death.
over 3,000 deaths.
Ooh.
Italy is now, it's gone up to second. Italy is now in complete lockdown. All the cities are in lockdown. Your shirt is about, was it fascist Italy? Well, they've got some sort of,
No,
I can't
it's
say it
about
right
futurism.
now.
It's about an art movement in the 1910s.
Yeah.
Yes.
South Korea has dropped down to third, but it doesn't say on this graph, but apparently their new cases are decreasing, the same with China as well, because 22 new cases from population of 1 billion, and President Xi Jinping, he went and toured Wuhan today to sort of say yes,
Everything's okay.
It's open for business again. We can eat the bat soup again.
Yeah,
joking.
Yep, no more bat soup, no more eating alive mice.
Iran is fourth.
Iran, that was interesting. The way they got it quickly. That was a special delivery from Israel, I think, wasn't it?
Well, the quarter of their parliament got it as well. One of the supreme leaders in a circle, he died from it. The deputy health minister was sick. France is fifth on the list, 1,400. They've banned public gatherings. Spain and Germany, they're catching up. Look at the total cases in the US. That's jumped up to 729. Total deaths, 27. We're all still all the way down here, though we have jumped up to 157, 26... No, sorry, that's Austria.
Austria! Good old Austria.
My glasses obviously weren't zooming in enough to misread that. I've made the... What is it? They used to say that was the Yankee era. Are we even on this
Australia?
list?
Where
are we?
We're doing
I'm over here. Sorry, guys.
There, I saw us. Go down a bit. I saw us. Keep going. We're so poor in the... Here we are.
Where?
No, it's Argentina. It's Argentina. We're not even on the list. Luxembourg's got more coronavirus than us.
Yeah, let me do a, what is it, find
Search.
on this page.
Yeah, find on this page. Australia. That's Austria.
Oh, there we are there. 101 cases. We cracked the ton.
Yeah. Okay, great.
We've still had 3 deaths, 8 more cases, but... I'm going to put you back now, Reg.
Yes.
What are you doing?
He's moving around his room now, getting excited.
Moment. I got interrupted there. I just had to transfer some money over. Because the old man is a bit...
There you are. Centre screen, that's what we like.
Family first.
Family first? Australia first?
Family
America first?
Yeah.
We're going to show that trailer? What was the name of that film you wanted to talk about tonight?
We'll get to that. I just want to...
Yes, Corona. What's your thoughts on it all, Tim?
Well, it's obviously causing a lot of anxiety in the Australian community, obviously with the toilet paper, mass panic and other staples, because it's now rice and flour, pasta, tin food, which is good because that's stuff that you can actually eat.
Yes.
Do you want to eat some toilet paper?
Well, I'll try it later. I just want to get the right sauce for it. So I think it's about, there is an accusation that's been going around social media that it's a kind of scare. I mean, obviously the elite love fear.
The media do.
The media love fear agenda. I mean, climate change is a classic example. Global warming is a classic fear agenda. The Y2K. I always said the Y2K was like the short con, and the global warming and climate change, that's the long con, right? So they're both fear agendas. And here we're seeing another kind of agenda. Now, though we're not saying that there's nothing to the coronavirus. Obviously, there is something to it. And it seems to be like a very strong version of the flu that I think the elderly and people with a weak immune system, maybe going to get knocked around a bit. Even normal people like us, I don't know, with reasonable immune systems, we might even get knocked around a bit too. But obviously, it's no picnic. But maybe we're over-exaggerating it. Do you agree with that?
Well, it's foolish to make a prediction because I've spoken with viewers and fans of our show who've said we've got to be super prepared for this. We don't know what's coming. Other people who think that it's a massive beat up. Certainly, the mainstream media, they want it to be as scary as possible because they're going broke, and so the only weapon that they have to get people to watch is fear, scare people shitless. That I'm not sure if you saw 60 Minutes on Sunday night on Channel 9, but they did a hypothetical in the future. We'll all have to walk around the street with masks on.
Well, I mean, it does feel, I don't know about you, but does 2020 to you feel like you've woken up in the middle of like a kind of like 1970s dystopian science fiction film? It's like, this is the future is here, and it's not a complete nightmare, but it's a bit nightmarish. There are certainly some, what's it called, disasters on the horizon, so to speak.
In the 70s, everyone thought the world would end.
Yes, and here we are, and maybe it is.
It
Sorry?
didn't happen.
No, well,
President nuclear strikes World War III, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. Overpopulation in the 70s as well. Remember that the population bomb was released in 68, and there was going to be so much overpopulation we'd all starve to death.
Well, that's right. And also there's Sir Thomas Malthus, who predicted a couple hundred years ago that he's called Malthusian when you speak about overpopulation. But I still think overpopulation is an issue. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, there's an accusation that Bill Gates had something to do with this virus being released. That he predicted some kind of pandemic about 6 months ago. He didn't specifically predict this particular pandemic, but he did predict one, and well, here it fucking is. I mean, there is certainly something going on, but it doesn't appear to be super deadly. It's not the fucking Andromeda strain, like I said on one of my reports, but it's like a very strong version of the flu that But some of us could lose family members. We could lose a niece or a nephew or something horrible if this thing really does go pandemic in Australia. And it hasn't happened yet. We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, a lot of people have speculated that, or is it evolution or by design? And there has been a lot of information that suggests that the coronavirus was stolen from a bioweapons facility in Canada by the Chinese, because there's a bioweapons facility outside of Wuhan, and there's the theory that the Chinese, they wanted to kill their unproductive workers, or it could have just been
because they've done that
an
before.
accident.
They've done that before.
Well, they used
in Maoist China. There's a long history.
Well, the
of
Great Lake
bumping
Ford,
them.
that was a good way to wipe out about 50 million.
Was it really? I mean, the coronavirus hasn't done that well. It's only got like 5,000.
Well, China says it's now under control, and we look at the statistics that only killed 3,000 Chinese, and obviously when we talk about these deaths, we don't. Every death is a tragedy, but we've got to keep it in perspective.
It's not as bad as the Great Leap Forward, is it?
Yeah, definitely. They've still got food in China. They've got. There's been a lot of talk about. Malcolm Roberts tweeted today that the empty supermarkets, so this is what socialism looks like. And there was some smartass who said that, in a socialist system, we'd make sure that everyone got an equal ration of toilet paper, suggesting that there would be toilet paper in a socialist economy like Venezuela.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's a load of bullshit. But I shared a meme on Facebook along those lines saying, just if you really like the idea of a kind of Bernie Sanders or Jeremy Corbyn or, these kind of more far left populist kind of leaders. I mean, some of them are, I certainly like listening to them sometimes. I think it's interesting to listen to their ideas sometimes, but like this is what all the supermarkets would look like, I mean, I went to Cuba in 2012 and it was actually a pretty cool country, actually. Cuba was a pretty cool country, except the supermarket. The supermarket was like the toilet paper shelf. You'd go in there and you'd be like one thing of biscuits and you'd run and grab it, And it was like that in Africa too. When I made a film in Africa in 2009, except the supermarket in Africa, you would get the biscuits once a week. At least in Cuba, the biscuits were there every day, and you could fight over them. Whereas in Africa, they came in only once a week. So that's how it works.
Yeah. I mean, when you're trying to get some petrol in Cuba, it's like going like from Kingsford, like South Leagues Club, to all the way to CBD. That's how long the line is.
Oh no, that wasn't that bad. I mean, it was interesting. You would just get into cars. People would just pick you up in their cars, and there's a lot of those old 1950s cars. Actually, Cuba wasn't really that bad a country for a country that's meant to be like the nightmare of communism. It was not like that at all. I went there myself, so I actually liked it, and I have a bit of a soft spot for Castro, believe it or not. I bought a whole bunch of books on him, and he was interested in Christianity and stuff, and because I've always been interested in like far right kind of radicals, but I'm also interested in far left radicals, so I study both sides. So it was very interesting to go there, the same as I went to Italy and, went and saw the Italian futurist exhibition here at the Guggenheim in New York, which has obviously had a huge portrait of Mussolini. So it's all very fascinating to me.
A few people in the chat, Reg, they're still a bit unhinged by you wearing your sunglasses at night. But that was a song by Corey Hart from the 80s. We're going to be talking about another two Corys.
Are we heading into the
later on?
Is that a segue into
as well? There's still a bit with the coronavirus because I alluded to that it might have been made by design, but of course diseases evolve all the time. How many new diseases have we had in the 21st century? There was Ebola. I'm going in descending order. Then there was bird flu. Well, wasn't there also equine flu as well? Did that go to humans or just horses? Because I remember the Melbourne Cup
was people. So yeah.
And then of course there was SARS and. We're all too. You and I, Reg, are too. Oh, we weren't born in the 80s when the AIDS pandemic.
I was around then.
What was that like compared to now?
Well, I mean, everyone was worried about it. Obviously, you were concerned about it. You would wear condoms a lot more, I think, in the good old days, because of worry about that. But it was mainly within the homosexual community. So as long as you weren't homosexual, you're okay. So I was sleeping around with a lot of women in the 90s when I was running my hellfire clubs and stuff. So I was wearing condoms occasionally, but sometimes I wouldn't. But I've had all the tests and never got anything. So, I think it was mainly a disease that stuck to the gay community. And but obviously it was certainly a concern to people. And people were even concerned about drinking out of the same, people were kind of paranoid about, like there was a kind of fear agenda going on then about it with AIDS and stuff. Yeah,
the reason why I mentioned it, that fear of like drinking out of, because that's sort of the case at the moment, because the virus remains not undetected, but you don't ship symptoms. It incubates for 14 days. There was
if I've got it, you're fucked.
Yeah, there was Missy Higgins's father, the doctor Chris Higgins. He came back from the US with just a runny nose, but it turned out he had coronavirus. And of course, now you have at the emergency wards, the testing clinics. There's now these huge queues because all the hypochondriacs who've got runny noses think they need to get tested for coronavirus.
Well, a friend of mine, I won't say who it is, but she's got a problem with her back, and she's down at the Alfred Hospital at the moment. She had to go into and just an appointment or whatever, and she had to look at the emergency room, and it was like, she said it's like nothing she's ever seen. It was like the end of the world because everyone's down there. Because if you get a runny nose at the moment, you're straight on down to the nearest hospital saying I've got coronavirus when you've just got the fucking cold.
People have said to me in the chat for the second night in the row that there's no relation between Missy Higgins and Chris Higgins. I heard that on the mainstream media. Were they feeding me fake news? I'll just wait for people in the chat to comment.
Originated in an Israeli lab, apparently.
Who said that?
Someone up there.
Well,
I do think it was interesting the way it went to Iran very quickly, and it seemed to Iran. It arrived in Iran at the leadership structure very, very quickly. I thought that was interesting. I mean, how the fuck did it get from Wuhan so quickly to like the leadership structure of Iran, like within a week? I thought that was definitely.
Well, now one of the French
Mossad special delivery package.
French politicians has got coronavirus now, and of course Donald Trump. He might have been exposed to coronavirus at CPAC. One of the attendees has tested positive for coronavirus. Senator Ted Cruz, he's quarantined himself for 14 days. So have a few other
they got Ted Cruz, did they?
Who was there. Well, he's just self-quarantining and getting the test. This is why I say you don't know that you have it.
Of course.
I'm not saying that AIDS and coronavirus are the same, but
they're completely different.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that it's because AIDS could stay in undetectable for quite a while as well. This is the sort of thing. A lot of people.
AIDS is sexually transmitted. This is transmitted.
I know. I'm just sort of. I'm comparing the fear and the
the
fact that you don't know if you're passing it on, that you're a carrier of it.
I see. I understand. Yes,
because they still haven't traced the Iranians who came from Iran to Australia have contracted coronavirus. They don't know the source of that. They don't know who originally got it. They probably don't even know.
Yeah, a special delivery package via Mossad to Iran from Wuhan. That's how Iran would have got it so quickly. But they've quickly, whopped off a nice lug of it there and somehow infected a group of people. And then obviously it's gone silly in Iran. I mean, obviously a lot of countries that have very bad hygiene. But then, even in countries like France, it seems to have taken off. And that's a country that has reasonable hygiene, at least in some circles. You know, French always,
Well,
you know.
You know,
So I don't know. And
lot of
Italy as
French,
well.
yeah.
Italy's in lockdown, you know.
Yeah, I heard Italy's just gone a bit locked down at the moment, and yeah, I mean, Italy's got hit hard with the corona, and South Korea, just nearly every country.
Indeed.
I mean, it's like getting a cold in a way. I mean, 90% will just recover over it.
Yeah,
While
well,
the other 10% just die with who have a weak immune system. So yeah,
95%, yeah. 95% will recover, and 5% are in trouble technically, and obviously a few will survive out of that still anyway. But I don't know, mate. I don't know what to say. I mean, obviously it's not a good situation, and obviously, let's move on to the next topic, and hopefully we're all here in a month to report back.
I know that Scott Morrison basically is sending the be alert but not alarm message, but definitely the most alarmist Australian leader on this is Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews, who said today, "We are told by experts where we're going to reach a phase that will be so much transition among Victorians that we'll need to take extreme measures." And he said, we'll need to ask Victorians things that we have never asked them before. That sounds... What's he got in mind, Daniel Andrews?
Well, he is, he's obviously got that special secret deal with China. That what's it called, Belt and Road, is it? And he's been suspected he's a bit of a Chinese agent, Mr. Andrews. I don't know what he's got in plan for us. Are we all going to be stuck into the MCG and kind of quarantined until we're all better? I don't know. We're going to have to sleep at the MCG for a couple of weeks.
Well, the footy might be cancelled. That's what they're talking about.
Yes, I think that'll happen. I think all major events in the next 6 weeks.
Miley Cyrus is no longer coming to Australia.
Really?
And so is Russell Brand. He's not coming to Australia either.
Oh.
Well, that's two good things that the coronavirus has done for us. So I mean, it's not all bad. We've got to look at it on the upside sometimes as well. No Russell Brand and no Miley Cyrus. This is great.
I mean, Miley Cyrus, she was going to perform at a bushfire charity concert, so the concert's been cancelled, so money can't be raised. But you sort of wonder, Miley Cyrus coming to a bushfire concert, is that going to be sort of like family friendly, wholesome?
Yes, no, should be doing one of those dances with their ass in the air. What do you think, Reg?
I'd rather watch Queen than watch Miley Cyrus perform. So, ACDC, yeah.
She's with that Australian now, Cody Simpson, where they're all taking degenerate photos of each other and posting them on Instagram, which is odd for a couple.
It's not odd for today's world, though. All right, moving on from the corona, eh? Let's get off this. This
Super Tuesday 2 is tomorrow, and of course I encourage people to get on Entropy to vote in the poll, and also ask a question, and also support the show through a super chat, because Biden is now the front runner, and it's clear the fix is in from the Democrat establishment. Even though he's 78 years old, he'd be 79 when he's inaugurated Joe Biden, and he's got all the signs of dementia. He doesn't know what day it is. He doesn't know who his wife and sister is. He said the other day that we're not going to win this re-election to defeat Donald Trump. He's always been a gaffe machine, but it's just going worse now. And it's like, are you serious, Democrat establishment? You've rallied around this old senile man?
Well, I think it's, there's a couple of interesting things here I think we need to note about the Democratic primaries. First of all, is the Bernie Bros. The Bernie Bros originally, obviously they're kind of left-wing socialists, but when Bernie got fucked last time, a lot of them were so angry that Bernie didn't get the nomination because, there was some cheating involved and almost election rigging from, the Democratic National Congress. And that woman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was like a friend of Hillary Clinton, she got the sack, right? And so the Bernie Bros were very pissed off and they voted Trump. Just as a kind of fuck you vote, right? And I think we're in a very similar situation again. So we need to reach out across the aisle, so to speak, to the Bernie Bros and say, they've fucked Bernie again, haven't they? And they have. Because he's clearly the candidate with them who's the most popular. Yeah. But they've screwed him again. And so, you've got Biden, he's worse than Hillary.
And Sanders is going to bend over and take it yet again.
Sanders
That's
is going to
how
take
much of a beta cuck he is.
Exactly, Bernie Bros. So, it's, if any of you out there listening, in America or wherever, or you know a Bernie bro.
I'm listening. I can still hear you.
If you know a Bernie bro,
they're involved. Trump will win. Yeah.
You know, tell them to vote Trump. You know, now that Biden is the centre moderate, many of them have pointed out that Biden is worse than Trump. And obviously, you've seen those videos online, like creepy Uncle Joe. He's running around sniffing girls' hair, and he's a fucking complete creep. So, you know, what do you think?
Well, yes, there's been the unwanted touching that we'd known about it for years through just looking at
Paul
video
Joseph
of
Watson,
him,
yeah.
but the mainstream media only paid attention to it
Recently.
last year, and then what is it? He's even done further gaffes on it, saying, "I love kids jumping on my lap." And then there was another thing where he talked about what is that? Teachers. He said, "I want teachers to touch their students, figuratively speaking."
He's got that great quote where he talks about domestic violence. And he goes, "We've just got to keep punching and punching on the domestic violence problem." It's like, he is great. I mean, really, for Trump to win in 2020, Biden is the perfect candidate. So in a sense, we should support Biden, as he's clearly going to lose, you know what I mean? So in a sense, he's the perfect candidate for the new right, or the alt-right, or whatever you call your dissident right, whatever you call us these days, to kind of, in a sense, hope gets up, or hope gets the nomination, because, you know, he's going to get fucking... Can you imagine him in a debate with Trump?
Yeah.
He's going to get killed by Trump. So this is a great thing, I think. So Biden's, you know, the fact that he's gotten up is good.
Binary Agenda has asking the question, does voting yes for Hillary VP mean we want her to be the VP, or does it mean we think she'll move to be VP and then President once Biden's dementia tragically becomes fatal? I don't think any of us want her to become VP. I'm just asking whether you think it will happen, but I don't think it'll happen. It'll either be Amy Klobuchar, so if Biden wins, it'd be the first female president 6 months later, or it'd be Pete Buttigieg, who'd be the first gay president six months later. That's what
Michelle
I reckon.
Obama is another name that's been floated in relation to a VP, so it could be Michelle.
She'd be the first
black woman. So there you go. You have the double whammy.
Oh,
So yeah, look, they're going to kill Joe Biden, basically. I mean, if I was Joe Biden, I wouldn't be looking too good right now. Even if he defeats Trump, he's going to get killed. But he's going to get killed by Trump, not by Hillary Clinton or Michelle Obama. So I just think he's the perfect candidate to go up against Trump, because he's going to get fucking thrashed. You know, let's face it. It's going to be like that election recent. What do you think, Reg?
Well, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, they all belong in a nursing home. If Joe Biden loses, just put him in there.
It's true.
Did you hear that Bill Clinton, he's discussed again his affair with Monica Lewinsky under the Oval Office desk, and he said that he had the affair due to anxiety, that he was stressed with the job, and so that's why he did it with her in the Oval Office and stained her dress. And there was Babylon Bee is just so good. They released a parody article saying Hillary Clinton killed Jeffrey Epstein
to relieve
due
the
to
stress.
anxiety. Yes.
To anxiety, yeah. That was very funny. That was very funny. Very witty.
But yeah, Super Tuesday 2 tomorrow. Big states are Michigan and Washington. Bernie Sanders had an upset win in Michigan in 2016, but Bernie is now actually losing states that he won last time, which sort of suggests is the fix in even more.
The fix is in,
this
mate.
time.
I mean, they talk about, this is what's ridiculous. They talk about election interference, and they talk about like tampering and foreign tampering, and they blame Russia or the Ukraine and all this bullshit. They had the Mueller investigation, they had the Trump impeachment, and yet here they are. The whole, the Democrat cabal itself is committing, election tampering right in front of America's noses. Clearly, Bernie Sanders is more popular than fucking Joe Biden, and it's just bullshit. They're stealing the election, and of course, you're right. Bernie's going to lay down.
I mean, Bernie's going to actually lose. He's just, I mean, who wants to vote for an old twat that supports communism? I mean, who wants to support an old guy who's mentoring Smith and Girls and all that? Will. Trump's going to win.
Well, obviously, but I do think that Bernie Sanders is more popular than what's his name, than Joe Biden, and that obviously Bernie portrays himself as of course we will accuse him of being like a communist dictator or whatever, but he portrays himself as a mild socialist, more like Sweden rather than Stalin.
Democratic socialist.
Yeah, exactly, more like Sweden.
The
rather
reality
than Stalin.
is that the Nordic countries, they have large welfare states. It's not that the governments control the means of production.
No, I don't think you know, I mean, obviously from the left, when Donald Trump came in, there was the accusation that Trump was Hitler. And obviously that's bullshit. Trump is not Hitler. What's he up to? And then, you know, so now I don't think Bernie Sanders is fucking Stalin or Mao. I do think he is a mild socialist. I think maybe he has a tendency to be a bit radical, but, like, I'm not sure. What do you think?
Well, it's clear that the Democrat establishment, they fear him either because he's uncontrollable or because they know that socialist policies will upset their globalist masters. And it was interesting.
That's what's interesting about Bernie. The globalist media seems to hate Bernie more than it hates Trump. And that's actually something that's interesting about Bernie. It's like, obviously the globalist elite itself is all about a greed agenda. And obviously Donald Trump is a billionaire. So he's somebody who understands capitalism and, obviously making a dollar, right? He knows how to make a dollar. So in a weird sense, globalist media, if they were to put Bernie as their nomination, in a sense, CNN would back Trump. This is what the kind of weird world we're living in. Topsy-turvy world. So it's like the globalist media would actually back Trump if Bernie were to get the nomination. But he's not going to get the nomination because basically the DNC won't allow him. And this, again, is election interference, election tampering, and it's extraordinary. And the fact that they've been carrying on for so long about this, there's all this election tampering, election interference from foreign countries, and this is exactly what they're doing. And it's unbelievable. They project, It's crazy.
Well, Tulsi Gabbard is still in the race. She's the one that the Democrat establishment and the media hate the most, and the Democrat Party have changed the rules again so that she's not going to be in the next debate.
Yeah, well, that's bullshit. I mean, I like her too, but still, I mean, she's there more as a troll than anything else. Obviously, she's not a serious candidate in the sense that, she doesn't have the numbers. The race is now between Biden and Bernie Sanders, and I actually think Bernie Sanders, if it wasn't being tampered with, would win the nomination. But I think it's clearly being tampered with. I don't know how they do it, but people have reported, like they did with Trump, sometimes that you press one, you press for Bernie and you get fucking Biden, with those electronic Soros machines. They don't want a legitimate socialist in the White House, the globalist elite, because they're all a bunch of elite plutocrats, they're basically oligarchs, extremely wealthy mega billionaires. They don't want someone who's going to fucking tax the living shit out of them, you know what I mean? That's what Bernie says he will do, basically. They don't want that, because they're all about greed,
All right, just got to go off again.
All right.
But the thing with, you mentioned the Bernie Bros. If it's stolen from him again,
it is. They are
the Bernie Bros, they should legitimately riot. I mean, that's what Trump said to the Democrat Party establishment. If you try to take the nomination from me, I think you'd see riots. I think you'd see bad things happen. But of course, we know that the Bernie Bros, young people, are still not turning up to vote. That's why Biden is winning. And of course, well, they claim that they're going to start a revolution, the Bernie Bros. Well, if your candidate's fucked over for the second time, well, now's your most legitimate time to start a revolution. Are you going to do it, or are you just bluffing? Are you just writing? Are you just tweeting about it?
They're going to do a fuck you vote. They're going to vote for Trump like they did last election. So I think the fact, I mean, obviously, in a sense that election tampering is not a good thing, but the fact that they are fucking Bernie is actually good for Trump, because and the fact that he's going to run against Biden, it's just a good situation. Yeah. So there we are.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Now we've titled tonight's episode CoronaWood because, well, there's still a lot happening under the Hollywood sign in the shadows, and it just premiered a couple of hours ago. The Corey Feldman documentary, The Rape of Two Coreys, about his child acting career, as well as the now deceased Corey Helm from substance abuse, obviously triggered by childhood sexual abuse. And we're all wondering, was it going to name a big name? Well, it has. We didn't actually get to see the live stream of the documentary because the website was hacked.
Yes.
Which is, imagine my shock.
Yes. And who was the big name that named?
Charlie Sheen, who raped Corey Helm. Didn't rape Corey Feldman, but that's the big name. And Charlie,
he didn't mention Steven Spielberg, Rob Reiner, or Joe Schumacher.
No.
So they weren't mentioned.
But apparently this allegation has surfaced before.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen, I think, I'd heard that about him. He was touring Australia, and a lot of people were kind of going to go see him, and I thought, and I'd heard bad things in relation to Charlie Sheen and the Corys, so that's the big name that Corey has decided to drop. Obviously, it's a safer name to drop than Steven Spielberg, or, in the sense they're not going to get killed. I think
since you and I last spoke about this documentary, Steven Spielberg's daughter announced that she's going to pursue a porn career, and
that was unusual, wasn't it?
How she was basically ritually abused, adopted daughter. She's black. That she was ritually abused as a child. Which, how does, like, if you're a responsible parent, how do you allow basically your adopted? You're pretty much. Hollywood people should probably be banned from adoption, given that upbringing.
I think obviously they are involved in it. I mean, I think that's obviously the implication of the article, that Spielberg had something to do with it. Obviously, Spielberg is essentially Mr. Hollywood. So for such a story to break, they're going to have to break it slowly, so to speak, reveal the layers off the onion. What do you think, Reg?
Yeah, I mean, bloody oath. They need to know, expose Hollywood's like dark secrets and all that. We need to expose like Hollywood. I mean, Corey Feldman, he was in really good movies like The Goonies and Stand By Me and all that. I think I felt really sorry for the poor bugger and
I did too.
Corey Feldman and all that. So yeah, I felt sorry for him. And Charlie Sheen, I didn't like the bloke at all. I only like his dad because he's a good bloke.
Yeah, Martin Sheen's a great actor, and Charlie Sheen just seems to be a broken soul or something.
But it seems weird that because the allegation is that he sodomized Corey Helm in between two Hollywood trailers in broad daylight. But of course, Charlie Sheen has been a ladies' man for his entire career.
Well, he also has AIDS, and apparently, I think when he had his recent divorce, I think his wife, found out he did like younger men or something. So I don't know what the hell. This debauchery seems to be just going out of control in Hollywood. And obviously, Charlie Sheen, if he's the name they're going to drop, well, something should be done about that.
But Corey Feldman, he lived to see the premiere, and the people who are inside that premiere, they lived to see it and report on it.
Yes. Well, the town's probably known, like it did with Harvey Weinstein, like it has with Woody Allen, like it has with Jeffrey Epstein. The town knows about all these stories, and they do nothing. They just sit on them and they bury them.
There's been an update on Harvey Weinstein. He slipped in prison, sustained a concussion. He's back in hospital. Of course, all the suspicion is, what did he drop the soap in the shower? Because when you slip in prison... But apparently he legitimately did need the walking frame. That's why he slipped. He wasn't using it in prison.
There you go. So, poor old, Mr. Weinstein's back in hospital, is he, for slipping. I think they're going to do a Jeffrey Epstein on him. I got to see him vanishing or disappearing, at the back door.
Yeah, probably got that Edward Norton shower treatment from American History X when he got ganged up and someonized.
That's possible. I think, there was a funny meme on Facebook where it's like a Weinstein and a kind of like huge lifer. And he's like, "You're familiar with the audition process, aren't you?" That was a kind of a funny meme and everyone was sharing on Facebook. So yeah, he's in prison now, is he? So he's in
Harvey Weinstein, yes. Wow. He hasn't been sentenced yet, but arraigned in custody while awaiting sentencing.
So there we go.
But despite it's not more evidence, but the spotlight still being on Hollywood's debauchery and degeneracy, they're still preaching at us, especially in an election year.
What are they preaching this week?
Well, because I watch a lot of Sky News, I've seen run as a promo this new HBO miniseries called The Plot Against America, which is
let's watch that
alternate history where Charles Lindbergh is elected US president in 1940. So let's have a look at this
based on a
promo
novel.
Based on a novel
by Philip Roth. Roth, the famous Jewish author.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look, ladies and gentlemen.
Also,
our candidate for President, Charles Lindbergh.
My intention is to preserve American democracy by preventing America from taking part in another world war. What if Lindbergh does win?
Everyone sees what he is.
He's a hero. To most people, there's never been a bigger hero in their lifetime.
The Jewish people and Roosevelt are pushing the United States into...
She looks familiar, doesn't he?
He's calling us
That's
war
what I thought.
educators. Listen to that crowd.
This is not an evil man.
Lindbergh is not an anti-Semite.
Like hell he's not.
What's a fascist?
The fascists don't like Jews.
Why?
Because we're Jews.
What's our luggage doing here?
There are no vacancies. Take your bags and your family and leave.
Do you have any idea what's at stake in this coming election?
I believe he is a good man. There are so many, though, who don't trust him.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
What is happening in the world today
of the United States of America
A lot of bad propaganda
is
there.
not America's war.
and to the republic for which it stands, with liberty and justice for all.
What is she said?
I don't want you to be frightened like your parents.
There's a lot of hate out there, and he knows how to tap into it. We have to get out.
They've closed the borders.
This is my country.
Not anymore.
It is the Jew haters. It is the America firsters. It's their country.
The 33rd President of the United States, Charles.
Oh, God.
What just happened?
Can't hear the video.
Well, that's good fun, isn't it? You know. So basically, it's a kind of they're using the Lindbergh election. Well, he lost, but the election supposed win in a kind of alternative history. Obviously, as a kind of reference to Trump, because Trump did use Lindbergh's catchphrase of "America First."
Yeah, and it's quite explicit in that promo. It's not our country anymore. It's the Jew haters. It's the America firsters. And
they're trying to play the anti-Semitic card basically before the U.S. election.
Yeah.
And it's obvious, and they've been playing it since day one. You know, I mean, with Trump, you know. I mean, even though Trump is one of the most loyal fucking allies to Israel it's had in the fucking White House.
It could be more addressed to the Groypers, the new America First Brigade, which of course Nick Fuentes
came and went, didn't he?
No, he's still around.
Is he?
Yeah, his show's more popular than ever.
before?
His America First show on D-Live every weekday. They just had the America First Political Action Conference where, well, they've got they've got their biggest defection from Conservative Inc. is Michelle Malkin, who, well, the Conservative Inc. Even though she's Asian, they're now calling her Nazi mum. That's a new thing, and
Nazi
so it's
mum.
clear there that. Because it says from the executive producer of the Wire, that's David Simon, who is a lefty.
Oh yeah, he's fucking terrible. I mean, I did actually like The Wire. I didn't like that show he did. You ever tried to watch that show he made about New Orleans? It's fucking terrible, mate. It's like about 50 hours long. I don't know. I watched about 20 hours of it and I couldn't do it anymore. Can't remember its name. And then he did some show starring, what's the name of that guy? Just Franco, about like pimps or something in New York, which I found, I found that show absolutely terrible as well. I can't remember the name of it. It's called The Juice, that's right.
But it's an alternate history. Lindbergh never ran for president, but he, obviously, everyone knows him, basic understanding, the first solo transatlantic flight from New York to Paris. And of course, his 21-year-old son was kidnapped and murdered, and when World War II started, he was a non-interventionist.
The Lindbergh baby, yeah.
He supported the America First Committee, which dissolved when the Pearl Harbor attack happened. But also this miniseries is trying to also imply that if you're against war, that you hate Jews.
Yeah, no, exactly. And, you know, I mean, obviously, stopping World War II would have been a great result. I mean, obviously, Oswald Mosley as well, from the British Union of Fascists, tried to stop the English entering the war. And obviously, the group of people who started the war was the English. They were the they declared war on Germany. I mean, Germany invaded Poland, but Germany didn't declare war on England. They obviously England, told Germany not to invade Poland, and then went ahead and did that. And then, of course, England. I used to get in trouble in history class, back at school, because I used to say, oh, Germany started World War II, and then they said, they told the history events. I said, well, who declared war on who? And they said, well, the English declared war on Germany. And I said, well, then the English started it, didn't they? And I got sent out of class. I don't know how many times for that one.
Yeah, I mean, when Poland was invaded, it was not just Germany that invaded; it was the Soviet Union as well, because they signed a non-aggressive pact.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The Nazi-Soviet pact, which is like Bernie Sanders and Trump teaming up. So there you go.
Yeah.
And I've also been alerted to in the chat, Nick Fuentes actually reviewed this himself. There's also an Amazon Prime series called The Hunters about these Jewish Nazi hunters in the 1970s.
I'm not watching that.
Tracking down
Al Pacino,
the Nazi
not watching that
war criminals in the United States.
Just not watching that propaganda. But there is another interesting show based on a novel by Philip K. Dick called The Man in the High Castle. There's about three seasons of that.
On
and that's
Amazon
about
Prime
Hitler
well.
winning World War II. So that's a really interesting series. That Hitler wins World War II, and half of America is kind of Nazified, and the other half is Japanese.
Which I don't think would have been the case.
I don't know what would have been the case, but it's a very interesting series.
There's a game of it as well.
Yeah, there is
a game of it as well. Yeah.
I'm not a gamer, but I imagine there is.
1 and 2, yeah. It's just like it takes a lot of the timeline when America loses the war and they were overtaken by Nazis, so they had to start a revolution against them and try to kick them out of America. And yeah, this takes place 20 years after the events, so like an alternate timeline. So yeah, I didn't want to play it at all.
No, well, I mean,
propaganda.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about the game, but the TV series, The Man in the High Castle, some of this stuff obviously is propaganda, but it's to me, like for example, The Handmaid's Tale is obviously meant to be critiquing the state of Gilead, right? But I think a lot of propaganda has two levels, in the sense that, like, there's the level they're trying to lecture you on, but then there's the kind of pleasure you get from watching a place like Gilead where everything is Christian and, like it's all a patriarchy and things like this. So, like there's a double level to a lot of this propaganda, and it's even active. You can even see the actors are getting into it, the directors are getting into it, so I love The Handmaid's Tale. So a lot of this stuff that is propaganda, to me, has two levels, and, it can be watched from a new right perspective as an enjoyment, as a pleasure.
And because it's alternate history, nobody knows what would have happened, and so you can basically put whatever slant that you want on it, and obviously they can make up this book about a real life person, Charles Lindbergh, basically slander. I noticed that Wikipedia they pretty much said that he was a Nazi and a eugenicist.
Well, sure. I mean, you look at Star Wars. I mean, who's the bad guy? Darth Vader. But who's the character everyone fucking loved as a kid? Darth Vader. You know what I mean? So like everyone likes the villain. So whenever they're trying to propagandize you, you just like the villain. I've always been that way. I've always liked the bad character.
You just love the villain that is one big son of a bitch that cuts his own son's hand off, of course.
Well, like even like Joker, for example. I mean, the recent Joker film was an actual open attempt to understand the villain like Joker.
If the Joker was here in Australia at the moment, he'd burn a whole pile of toilet paper and just cackle.
He would indeed. He would indeed. So, this toilet paper crisis is just extraordinary. What's next?
We're going on to some Australian news now.
Well, I might leave you there because I've got to run, ladies and gentlemen.
You've
good
got
talking to you, Reg.
You've got to watch Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul, a new episode awaits. All right, I'll see you next time. I'm going to run out the door.
See you, Richard.
See you, Reg. See you, Tim.
That's why we started early tonight, everybody, because Richard wanted to get out of here to watch Better Call Saul. So you don't want to miss his call.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure if you saw this, I've been following this, Reg, but Scott Cam, who everyone knows as, he was originally the Burke... Yeah, and before that, the Burke's Backyard handyman. So the Morrison government hired him to be their national careers ambassador for the humble salary of $350,000 a year of our money. And in that time, since it was announced at the end of last year, he's done, was it 3 videos and 4 social media posts? And you won't be able to hear this, Reg, but our audience will. This was him being interviewed on Sky News this morning, trying to defend his work and salary, and I'll discuss it at the end here.
We've seen 3 short videos out of that, 4 Facebook and Instagram posts,
can't hear a thing.
and an engagement
report.
report. Is that a good deal for taxpayers?
Well, look, if you did your homework and knew what you were talking about, you'd work out that all of the tours and appointments that we're going to see are school-based or education facilities like TAFEs and things like that. Now, over the summer, all of those facilities are closed. So there's no students here. I think that would be a waste of taxpayers' money if I was standing in an empty school, wouldn't you? My management and the government discussed the fee. That's none of your business. That's a commercial arrangement. How that came about is between my management, myself and the government.
I wouldn't say it's not any of my business, but it certainly is taxpayer business. This is taxpayer money.
Well, the amount is taxpayers' business. How that came about, that's my business.
Okay, Scott Cam there, he comes across as a serious wanker there, very defensive, and like it is with the ABC, we deserve to know what the presenters on the ABC are being paid, and I know that they get very defensive when that's the case. It is, if you didn't want the salary to be disclosed, why did you sign up for it in the first place?
I mean, why? I don't know. Why would you sign up for Scotty Kemp? I mean, his company's just gone downhill. I mean, everything's just gone downhill. Mighty 10's gone downhill. Everything's just gone nearly downhill now.
And
I only met Scotty Kemp once at Doncaster's and down in Kensington. So, yeah, just.
What was he like in person?
Oh, I met him. I saw him in person.
Oh yeah, what was he like in person?
He's a bit of an alright bloke. Yeah, but yeah, I haven't seen him much since like 5 years. So yeah, he's also a wrist supporter as well. So yeah, but Scotty Cam, he's losing everything. I mean, Mighty 10 started closing down here. It's just starting everything's closing down. So yeah, I mean, Scotty Cam trying to defend everything. It's just everything's gone downhill for him. So yeah.
But also the Morrison government should be scrutinised. Why did they feel they needed to, especially since they're trying to get that budget surplus, splurge $350,000 on a celebrity who's done not much work promoting national careers, promoting skills, and after that, basically, his brand has taken a bit of a battering. He comes across as a wanker there. How's he going to then basically come back from that to sort of sell things to Australian young people?
Oh no, it's just going to be all destroyed, man. I mean, Scotty Kemp, you know, he lost everything. Everything's just. Well, then all the businesses probably get shut, and when you know, it's just everything's going to go downhill. So that's the thing. I think everything's going to go down for him. So yeah, he's probably going to lose everything. He's going to lose Mighty 10 because people prefer Bunnings Warehouse more than Mighty 10, and yeah.
Also tomorrow we've got George Pell's High Court appeal kicking off. It'll go for 2 days. It'll decide whether the High Court grants leave to hear his appeal. Now, I've got this. We've got someone calling in. Hang on just a second. I'll see if I can add them to the call.
Yep.
Hello. Hello. Who is that?
What's going on, mates?
Is it Senator Slayer?
Senator Slayer?
What are you up to?
We're just discussing onto the George Pell High Court appeal, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
How do you reckon it will go, Tim?
Well, Andrew Bolt, obviously he's Pell's biggest defender. He's unsure, but then you had David Marr and the Guardian this morning who believes that the chatter amongst the legal class is that his conviction will be overturned, and as a lot of people have spoken of that as David Marr fearing more than based on any rational, because it is based on the sole testimony of that surviving victim. So it's basically a hearsay, historical sexual offence. But as the jury found in the second trial, and 2 of the 3 Supreme Court appeal justices said, they clearly believe he's not a liar and that he's telling the truth.
Yeah, I heard a bit about it. Like, so in layman's terms, basically, one witness against George Pell, so it's his word against the victims. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, well, George Pell, I think.
So then you have to ask yourself, if we're going to have a legal process like that, you have to ask yourself, have you ever been alone in a room with a woman?
Yes.
That's what it comes down to. So anyone in Victoria can be convicted if a woman says anything, if they've been in a room alone with her.
Shit.
Well, that's why they advise male teachers never make sure that you're in a room alone with a female student. Take proper precautions. I just remembered now. Remember when Dia was in the studio to moderate my interview with Kitty Demure. That was she was obviously here when the cameras were switched off, on, and then off again. So yes, I was alone with Dia in the studio here. So
Yeah,
there you go.
It's dangerous. Like, legally speaking, it's dangerous, you know.
Shit.
But obviously it has been a long process to Victoria Police to charge him. The other victim, or I don't think, what do we say at the moment? Alleged victim, because Pell at the moment has been convicted. He's now deceased because after the incident that purported to took place, the sexual assault, he descended into drug use, but he never said that he was molested.
Well, the George Pell and all that, you know, the Catholic Church and all that is just corrupted. George Pell, I think he should be excommunicated and dismissed. I mean, the Catholic Church nowadays is just messed up, corrupted. It's just, you know, like, as long as you learn Christian views and all that, it's just, the Catholic Church is gone, mate. You know, seriously. As long as you have faith in Jesus and all that, it's just, yeah.
And Pell comes across as such an unlikable person. He's got this really cold, uncaring demeanor. He speaks like this: I am looking forward to defending myself against these charges and clearing my name. The whole idea of child sexual abuse is abhorrent to me. He basically sounds like a robot.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does sound like a robot. He just sounds like really old, and, you know. Yeah.
Old people.
Yeah.
Let's move on to talking
the
about...
only victims to coronas.
I didn't get that.
Go on, Tim, sorry.
Yeah.
Apparently only old people are going to succumb to death by coronas, apparently.
Well, they're more vulnerable to it.
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we'll move on to, well, it's probably should be the biggest story of the political week, or hypocrite of the year, Sarah Hanson-Young, who, of course, she's sold herself as one of the utmost campaigners against domestic violence, and it was revealed she didn't think that it would become public. She gave a character reference to a political lobbyist friend of hers who on Christmas Eve during an argument with his wife held her down and slapped her, and the terrified kids called the police, and Sarah Hanson-Young wrote a character reference, please don't give him a conviction, it'd affect his career and job employment. And she said that I did this because the wife asked me to. And I noticed that Sarah Hanson-Young, she's been dead on Twitter for 5 days now. She hasn't tweeted anything since this news broke, and you know that she's staying silent because she knows that, well, Clementine Ford ripped into her on the Friday, basically spilling the beans on how Sarah Hanson-Young has been accused of bullying herself, called her a narcissist, attention seeker. It was full on dump on her, and all the lefties have turned on her.
Oh my god, typical pigs eating each other, eh? I mean, seriously, Sarah Hanson-Young, I think, can't hit her hard. I mean, that's what she get for attacking Mr. Lionhelm and all that. I mean, Sarah Hanson-Young, what can I say? Well, I just want to get that off my chest. I'm going to say Sarah Hanson-Young is nothing but a big fat pig that should not be fit in Parliament. Because everyone knows that.
Disgusting comments. Disgusting comments, Reg.
You're
talking like that about a woman.
She'll sue you next, though, of course, as she did with David Lionhelm, because, well, he's appealing it was $120,000 damages awarded to her by the federal court, because the federal court found that Sarah Hanson-Young didn't say all men are rapists, and that Lionhelm implied that she was a misandrist and a hypocrite. Well, what has the past week shown? That Sarah Hanson-Young is a hypocrite. And so Lionhelm, he would be on solid grounds to appeal that, because obviously the past week she has shown she is a hypocrite. That's not defaming her anymore.
Tim, she's the biggest hypocrite, She gives a reference to this guy who slaps his missus around the kitchen. Where's Avi Yemeni's reference? You know what I mean? Like, why doesn't she defend all domestic violence abusers? Why is only her friends protected?
Yes, which is, it's always the case with the left. They protect their own. Let's not remember that Bill Shorten has been accused of rape. There was a police investigation into it. They said that no charges could be laid, but the alleged victim, Kathy, she still maintains that yes, Bill Shorten did assault me, and we know that in Me Too, the mere accusation can destroy a man's career, but all the feminists, Jane Caro, Michelle Laurie, they all thought Bill Shorten was going to be the best Prime Minister ever, even though in normal, in feminist logical world, if a woman accuses a man of something, they should be believed.
I mean, seriously, men are the most, men are getting hit down the most, mate. I mean, what happened to my father? I mean, he got, my mum just didn't let see my dad for a while, and some women which actually will try to destroy men and all, and mostly it's feminists and all. But nowadays, just, people on the Labor Party, Greens and all that, and some Liberal, most major accusers and all that. So, and when it comes to the scandal from the Greens and all that, it's just, it's all messed up, and then they try to get away with everything. Labor and Greens, it's just, they're all a bunch of scumbags,
Yeah, I think they put it. I think Clementine Ford put it best. Like most of these greenies and these feminists they don't even understand the cause they're meant to be fighting. They just use it as a shield to be arseholes and narcissists. That's all it comes down to. Half these people don't even believe in the cause.
Yeah, they don't believe in the cause at all. They just want to destroy family values, property, and all that. They're all just a bunch of zombies, mate. All of them.
And I know that in Queensland now, even the state LNP opposition is on board. They want to make coercive control a crime, which is obviously that's a pattern of behaviour with domestic abusers, because the violence is just part of it, but it's the emotional abuse, basically manipulating that person so they're totally dependent on you. But in making this a crime, how do you judge that a person's guilty of it? We just talked about when it's one person's word against the other. How are you going to prosecute coercive control? And we already know how the intervention order system is abused. This could potentially create more problems than it solves.
Women deserve equal rights and less, Tim. You know, we can't be just propping up men all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you, Senator Slow.
We have got a super chat over on Entropy from Pissy Leaks Pete, formerly Peter V. Sarah Hanson-Young Mong is a hypocrite, anti-white, man-hating pig, and fake refugee appeaser. He's done another one of his tribute videos, which I'll put in the live chat, basically going through a whole history there. And the Versace Cowboy said that Sarah Hanson-Young is his new girlfriend. Oh, good luck with that, Cowboy.
Hey, he's stepping it up, mate.
Oh God, Sarah Hanson-Young. Oh God, don't shake Sarah Hanson-Young. She'll break your back. She will ruin your life, mate.
She did, Sarah Hanson-Young, break her silence on Sunday night, appearing on Radio National's The Party Room with Frank Kelly and Patricia Carvella. Senator Slay, you said that you listened to that?
Oh, yeah, mate. She was very apologetic. She kept talking about the victim, and the victim was the woman. And she done like a little bit of a good trick there, but it didn't work because it was the International Women's Day. It wasn't coming across too well. But she's like, everybody, let's talk about the victim here. The woman who asked me to give the reference in the first place. We're not talking about her, and we should be. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's not about her. It's about you giving a reference to a man that slapped his missus, and you're meant to be against all this. And then she spins it around again, and she says, oh no, she wanted it together, and she asked me nicely, and I did it for her. And it just didn't make any sense at all. Like, it was a total joke segment.
And she clearly hasn't read Sarah Hanson-Young, the domestic violence patterns and behaviours that she claims to know about. Obviously, we don't know the circumstances of this case. The names are suppressed, but she mentioned that the man says that he's not going to do it again, which of course you don't know that. None of us know that. And having said that, we don't know the individual facts of the case. But she's basically saying there that if a woman chooses to get back with the abuser, that should be respected. And of course, domestic violence as a whole, we know that that a lot of the time the woman doesn't go back voluntarily.
Well, yeah, that's the tricky part she tried to wiggle out of, and I think the ABC journalists who were interviewing her, I don't know about journalists, but the people on the radio, they were actually pretty hard on her, and they kind of put it to her, and she didn't know what to say. She was backed into a corner, and it's like, well, hang on, yeah, they're meant to like kind of protect women from this situation, but But the story is in the media reports. Let's be honest about it. I read it in the media reports. Apparently, they were drunk. They were out drunk, the husband and wife. And this is not sensitive information. It was reported in the papers. And they got home and they had an argument. She threw something at him and he grabbed her and slapped her. So it's a bit both-sided.
Yeah, she tried to bite him as well. Apparently it was over peeling potatoes. That's what the whole argument started over.
See, most domestic fights, occur over, women not wanting to do their job, you know what I mean? So I guess, no, I'm joking. I'm just joking. That was a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I'm getting greased off. Yeah, go.
Yeah, every time when there's news on domestic violence, it's mainly on women getting abused. But men, do we ever see a thing about men getting abused by women? Not much at all. The only time it happens was when Amber Heard abused Johnny Depp and all that. That's about it.
Well, there are cases that are reported in the media. There was that Geelong woman who she's facing murder charges for burning her male partner alive, which he died in hospital from burns. But we've seen photos of the seat that he was sitting at, and it's burnt to its core. It's horrific, and of course, how could you do something like that? There's no excuse for something like that. I know that Bettina Arndt has been quite quiet since all the politicians are demanding that she be stripped of her Order of Australia for supporting the Queensland Police having an open mind with the murder-suicide investigation. And the thing that sort of got out of the condemnations, where she said, including the possibility he was driven too far. Bettina Arndt is dark on social media now. The only one who is shining a light on that domestic violence has no gender is Jewel Jury from the Australian Better Families Party, New South Wales Senate candidate. She's gained quite the Facebook following. I'm not sure if you've seen her on Facebook, Reg.
I think I've seen her a couple of times, yeah. I don't normally follow the state senator. I'm usually more of a One Nation and Two for Chance bloke, but state senator, I think I might have to really have a look that up and, yeah, just check to see what's going on, because it's just not, we had to focus on the party in New South Wales. It's just, yeah. I mean, New South Wales states and all, I just probably had to look up and see what's happening and all that. So, yeah, I'll probably go check that out after this. So, yeah.
Hey, do you remember that chick in America that cut her husband's penis off and threw it out the window?
Oh, it was in the... Yeah, are you talking about... Are you talking about the one from 30 years ago?
Yeah, and he became a porn star, that guy.
No, there was a more recent one. It was in California, where this was even worse. The woman cut it off and she destroyed it in the garbage disposal.
It happens. But what I was trying to get at is that woman went on Oprah Winfrey's show, and all the women in the audience applauded her when she walked in as a hero, some feminist hero. But if you change the situation to a man doing it to a woman, it'll be a totally different reaction.
Oh, well, hey, the Muslims get away with mutilating women's genitals.
They do. They do as well.
Yeah. But there was going on. There was a case or story that broke in the past week where was a Chinese stepmom cut off her stepson's penis and testicles with a fruit knife and they had to attach it back together. He's like 12 years old. Like that, I couldn't even read the story. That is just full on evil, and that's when you want the Chinese justice system to be at its full brutal worst against her, because that's just horrible to a child.
I feel sorry for the little guy. I mean, seriously. I mean, getting a dick and nuts cut off is just brutal. Won't be able to have kids in the future.
Well, won't be able to basically, feel pleasure at all. That's also the consequence as well. And we've often talked about how London is all the acid attacks in London. There's been a few where vengeful women have poured acid on their male partners while they slept, which is like burning their bodies. They've had to be in comas for 6 months. One went to the Netherlands to euthanize himself. That's also evil.
Yeah, it's also illegal as well, man.
Yeah. It's illegal and it's evil.
Yeah.
Yep, totally disgusting.
Oh, we might wrap it up now. We've just gone over, I think, an hour and a half. So thank you, Reg, for joining me again. Thank you, Richard, before, and good of you to call in. Senator Slayer, last chance to send through a super chat on entropy, or ask us a question. People asking, where's Dave? Because XYZ Live was cancelled last night. It's going to be on tomorrow night, I believe, 9:30 p.m. on Maddie Rose Live channel. And then Thursday Uncuckables, James is attending, he said, a degenerate party. So let's see if we should ring James up during the show to make sure that he's acting pure. But it'll be myself, Dave in the studio, and Maddie will call in. We are assuming that his internet will be fixed by tomorrow night.
Yeah, nice. Be good to see Maddie again. He's been a bit of a ghost lately.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, he's not doing videos. Well, he might do some videos on his Maddie's Modern Life channel. It's just that YouTube has throttled his channel. Facebook is throttling all of us. Senator Slayer, you're disabled from Facebook and Twitter. I've been disabled from Facebook. The Unshackled is still there. We're being massively shadow banned. New South Wales Patriots against the extreme left has also had its difficulties.
Yeah. It's had a lot of difficulties a lot lately. It's probably going to go soon. So it's like a sinking ship and all that at the moment. Just Facebook's just trying to do its best to shut everything down. But
start a religion, boys.
Yeah.
Start a religion, and then be protected. Everyone should be doing it.
Yeah, we should start the beer religion then, like our Bundy.
Just start a Christian religion, and just get on there and have the name of your church, register it, and no one can take you off Facebook. You just sue the shit out of it. I'm telling you, man, it's the only way around it. Or you can just go to Gab and just die. Yeah.
James has also told us Patriarchy Hour is 10:30 p.m. Melbourne time tonight over on Rational Rise TV YouTube, and he's also said in regards to that he's going to be attending a degenerate party. He said, lies, it's an Italian dinner with my fascist friends. Hopefully he doesn't get coronavirus.
Okay.
And we've had Svadnik who said, sleep with a chastity belt, guys, unless you really trust your woman. Maybe wrap yourself in toilet paper when you go to sleep next to your woman.
I'll probably wrap myself up next time I come on, so yeah. Yeah, like I said, a bit of a joke, so yeah.
I've probably frightened a lot of men here tonight talking about all these sadistic women who like chopped off their partner's son's genitals and pouring acid on them.
I was going to bring up some more, but James Fox Higgins said this show's becoming degenerate. But yeah, mate, there's a lot of women that have gone around murdering their partners. It's not unheard of.
I know that a lot of people here don't like Netflix, but there's a series that I've watched about 40 episodes of, Deadly Women, about women who've murdered either for money or just for the thrill. And if they're able to make countless episodes, because each episode has about 2 to 4 female killers on it.
Bloody women on that Netflix show. It's like The Purge, but it's about exterminating men.
Well, International Women's Day was a bit of a flop because of the coronavirus. That's what I said last night on my show.
Yeah, I mean, International Women's Day, the rat was at Victoria's building and all that, and yeah, I mean, I saw a photo of it and I was like, oh god, there's so many rats there. A lot of them.
What did they do on that day? I don't know. Do they have a rally or a march?
I know that...
the Queen Victoria building. The Queen Victoria building, that's... they had a...
Parliament House?
No, not the Parliament House, it's near Town
So
Hall.
it's basically just a conference in Melbourne.
And Sydney.
Oh, in Sydney.
Yeah, there's always some women's festival event or whatever. I know that the ABC, they used to sack their male presenters for the day and have all their on-air lineup female. I remember Clementine Ford, she tweeted last month that on International Women's Day, Triple M was going to have an all-female lineup. She was going to be hosting the breakfast show, where they're going to change the name of the network to Triple F. Would be for, if that was the case, F for failing ratings, if that was the case, but she was trolling.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that. I remember that we are getting rid of all the headline news anchors for women. But yeah, you know, no one respects women more than me, so I kind of support that.
Oh yeah, you need a
Yep.
Is that a woman I heard in the background there?
Must be at Reg's house. No, must be on
And I also mentioned that Greta's last climate strike was a flop in Brussels because everyone's more scared about the coronavirus. How dare this virus take over the world?
Greta's really been a sport brat, crying and whinging and all that, while Naomi, the anti-Greta, just went up from the moment. I mean, it's only a flu. I mean, chill out, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think Greta's just going to lose it all over coronavirus.
Are they seriously taking all the toilet paper? Because I went to Woolies today. Yeah, I haven't been to the Woolies in ages. Yeah, I went in today, and literally the whole aisle was empty. And I might be a bit of a boomer about this. I haven't really been following it too much. But are they hiding the toilet paper at the back, or they're legitimately being bought?
Yeah, it's legitimately there's no secret stash or anything floating around. Just people. Woolworths have dropped their limit down to 2 packets per customer. Coles, just 1. They are the printing presses at the Kleenex and Quilton and Sorbet factories. It's not a supply issue; it's an insane demand issue.
Does this make you lose faith in humanity? Like, is it just me, or I'm just starting to think that majority of the population are just low IQ, like idiots? Like, it's scaring me, man, because it's like if you really believe something that much that the media tells you, and you just go out there and buy like a whole trolley full of toilet paper. I don't know what you need toilet paper for. I don't know
what you need toilet paper than food.
Do you get diarrhea or something with this disease?
No, it's just another form of the flu, but obviously it has a higher death rate, around about 4%, and that's the fact that now people are confused. If they get sick with a cold, have they got coronavirus, or is it just a cold as well? Because most of us are not going to die from it, but it's spreading rapidly, and even if it doesn't kill you, you could pass it on to somebody that could kill them.
Yeah, but wouldn't toilet paper be one of the last things you'd run to the store and buy if you're worried about being locked down or something? I don't get it. Like, what's wrong with running out of toilet paper and getting food instead, and then just having a shower after you take a crap? Like, I don't know what the big issue is with toilet paper. It's mind-boggling.
Why don't they just start
Tim,
buying
if you had no
communist flags?
toilet
That's an
paper,
alternative.
you just
Why
use
don't they-
leaves.
Or just dig
I
a
don't
hole.
understand.
Dig a hole.
Dig a hole.
Put the shit in there and just
Be
bury it.
like
That's it.
a dog and rub your bum on the grass. It's not one of the big issues that I'm thinking about. Do you agree, Tim?
Yeah, it's obviously perplexing. Like, why aren't you going to buy the food? But obviously this started somewhere, and it's gone more viral than the virus. And now the toilet paper aisles are empty at Walmarts in the United States. Toilet paper aisles are empty in Canada and England. Josh Sigurdsson from World Alternative Media, he was in a Walmart in Las Vegas, and there was no toilet paper there.
Did you make that up more viral than the virus? Because that's actually quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good slogan, mate. Yeah, look, it just scares me, man. When we actually have a problem, because this isn't a problem, this is going to blow over in a couple of months. So when we actually do have a problem in the future, and people are going to need food and toilet paper or whatever, I could see people getting murdered in the streets for a Snickers bar. And you're not going to be murdered by the cream of the crop either, not some Chad. You're going to be murdered by an overweight woman on menopause. That's who's going to kill you at the shopping centre.
Well, the majority of viral videos we've seen toilet paper wars have been women. Obviously, there was that man who was tasered in Tamworth who went absolutely mental, but the two videos from Saturday, the toilet paper fights, they were all women.
Yeah, this savage are punching on in the store.
Bloody hell.
I don't know, man.
It's all fear-mongering and all that. It's just everyone just panicked over
It's
some flu.
the media. It's the power of the media. The media are doing this. That's who's behind this. The media.
Yeah, they're all been a bunch of liars. They're all a bunch of freaking liars. That's all they are.
Who's telling the media what to do, Tim?
Media is wanting to get the clicks, get the views, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. What better way to get people to click and to view, to scare the crap out of them, that we're going to tell you how deadly this virus is and what you need to do.
Yeah, drop some money on toilet paper stock.
Yeah, they've got their correspondence in the toilet paper aisles. They've got the graphs, the graphics about toilet paper availability. Even Kyle and Jackie O are informing Sydney about where toilet paper is available.
Pathetic. It's pathetic.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll wrap this up now. Yep. Because we've gone an hour and 45. So yeah, I've already given the reminders. Sorry.
Say about David Elliott there.
Oh yeah. You wanted to talk about that. I'll put on the screen the article that you sent me. And people who don't know David Elliott he's the Police and Emergency Services Minister who went on holiday while... Yeah, and he's not just... if you look at this photo here, he's not... he hasn't just got his head shaped like a dick, he is a dickhead.
And also, he is not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy.
He broke firearms laws.
I thought it was Graham Ashton. It looks like him in that photo.
There's plenty of fat bald blokes around.
Oh, Tim, you're savage, man.
Yeah, so, Reg, you're the firearms expert. Fire away.
Well, I'll say the guy didn't have any license. The firearm is prohibited, and he's not holding it wrong and all that. And everyone's just blown up because the picture was taken like 2 years ago. I mean, he doesn't have any permits or licenses to shoot that gun, so he's probably going to lose the job. And it's just going to, if he gets stepped down and loses his job and all that, there's going to be a by-election. It'll trigger a by-election. Everyone just pointed it out and hit him like, "Oh, what are you doing with that gun?" and all that. I mean, technically, if you're he's not above law.
Can't you shoot if someone's watching you though? If someone's observing, like someone who is licensed?
Yes. If you're try shooting and you have someone observing you and all that and teaching you how to shoot, you're all right. But if you're shooting if guns illegal, but if anything that's prohibited and illegal in this country, you can't do that.
Oh, okay, now I get it. Yeah, it's illegal.
Nobody's above the law. Nobody's above the law to use that firearm. But now everyone just gone in and condemning them, especially Robert Borsak of the Shooters Farms Party. Everyone, including my my most hated bloke I really hate the most, Shoebridge.
The Chardonnay socialist.
Yeah, they're all saying no. I mean, he should be sacked.
Who's that douchebag, Reg? Who's that douchebag? You don't like him too much.
David Shoebridge. The same guy,
the greenie.
Yeah, communist scumbag that used to be Lee Rennon's pet. He's the few of New South Wales Green.
Sounds like a bad guy, I reckon.
Yep, bloody oath he is.
Well, he got arrested for protesting at Kirribilli.
Yeah, the one who got arrested at Kirribilli.
Oh, well, yeah, with that little girl. Okay.
Yeah,
I know who he is. Yeah, total douchebag. You're right, Reg. I agree with you, mate.
I probably might need you to come up here and just slay him. So,
that's irony.
I'm saving my energy. I'm saving my energy for the next slay. I have to slay a whale next time, so I need a lot of power.
That's all irony, everybody. We're irony guys. In case Burjo is watching. In case Burjo is watching,
Who?
like Burgess, the Asio head. New Asio head, I call him Burjo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. We're not plotting anything. We're just having a laugh. Slay means destroy non-physically with words.
And also, slay means when you're dressed to kill, metaphorically speaking. Like, you're dressed really well.
Or mounting a woman.
Really?
Yeah, that's called slay as well.
Okay, now we truly.
I'm getting like all these greasies. Am I saying the wrong things? Or
I think that.
Greasing me off.
I think James is right now. Now we how we have degenerated now. Anyway,
we're talking about the word slay.
Yeah. Well,
you can be Christian and also have a sense of humor. You know that.
Of course.
Yep.
What was that? I know that Nick Fuentes, he got his knife out again on his show today because what is it? There was some Con Inc. Who did a hit job on Michelle Malkin, who they call Nazi Mum. Now what happened to Michelle Malkin? What was her name again? It was something Carpenter. She wrote in some no-name thing this expose on the gropers and Michelle Malkin. I'd never heard of her before. If I can have a look here, let me just look it up here.
So yeah, he gets his knife out and stabs things, doesn't he, with it?
Well, he just used it's like entertainment, and this article, if I can find it out to the see, I can't even remember her name. That's just how just how irrelevant she is. Let me see if I can find her name. It's something Carpenter. The only Carpenter I know is John Carpenter, who created Michael Myers.
So he just got like full. Was he serious or was he just joking around?
He was because it also mentioned that when he was playing Grand Theft Auto on a live stream, he ran over like a rabbi, and he said it'd Ben Shapiro.
You got the name, Tim. You gotta not leave so much dead air on this show.
You're the ones. It's a discussion show. Well, I'm just one of the three panelists here, so you can speak up a bit more. The pair of you. Oh yeah, here it is. Amanda Carpenter. That's her name.
Amanda Duncan.
Yeah. CNN contributor, author of Gaslighting America, political columnist at Bulwark Online. And this, I'm reading it from Twitter. Standing in the breach and shouting, "You can't be serious." A forum for rational, principled, fact-based conservative commentary. I'd never heard of it. I heard of her or this blog until tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, if there's dead air here,
get your knife out, Tim. Get your knife out. But you need some shtick on this show, man. You need to do something to draw in more viewers. Why don't you get like a dartboard and put people's pictures on it or something each episode, and then at the end have a competition for day 8.
Let me put my thinking cap on.
Tim doesn't like any advice.
I do. I take it on board. I should say.
You know what I mean? You need some gimmick. You need some gimmick to bring in the normies.
Yeah. Well, you should, mate. Yeah.
Why doesn't Reg do a stunt every week? I reckon Reg would be good at doing stunts.
Yeah, probably.
He has a beer and a smoke. We did bring, what is it?
How do you afford cigarettes, mate? How do you afford cigarettes, Reg?
Oh, I got a few of them on my table, so yeah. I just got a bit. Hang on. Yeah, just got a bit. Just a few of them here.
You must be some big time drug dealer to be able to afford cigarettes.
Nah. I mean, I'm not a drug dealer, mate. I just the only thing I like. Yeah.
Reg Heisenberg.
Look at these cashed up ladies. Look at that. 6 cigarettes, man. That's almost $600.
Oh, fucking me.
Mate, you don't even need to bloody try hard to pick up chicks now. You just like pull out a packet of smokes, man. They'll be all over you, Reg.
Yeah, bloody.
Well, the government's now got, because it is the taxes are so high, they're cracking down on illegal tobacco because then they lose revenue, and so I think it's unofficially called the butt squat, seizing illegal tobacco.
I mean, you can't grow your tobacco
I wouldn't smoke that stuff. Or you smoke that stuff, you're playing Russian roulette, mate. If they grow that stuff in the wrong soil, it will kill you. Like, maybe not that week, but in a year or so, it could kill you, man.
Yeah.
You know, I just smoke the green stuff, mate. That's all I smoke.
Menthol.
Winnie Blues to me.
Nah, I'm only joking. I don't smoke that stuff. No. Tim knows I don't smoke that stuff. But, yeah, look, Reg, mate, just settle down the smokes, man. You're going to go broke. Get on the vape. I'm vaping, bro.
Vaping is, isn't it, it's illegal to buy vapes in Australia. You have to import it.
No, it's legal. It's legal.
So Yeah. So what's
So
the?
what you have to do is, I'll teach your audience because it actually is legal.
Yeah.
You have to go buy a vape machine, which is legal to buy from one of those shops. Then you have to get it imported. It's not illegal to purchase it from another country who manufactures it, but you can't purchase it the oil from within the same country you are, if that makes any sense. So New Zealand make nicotine vape juice. So New Zealand have to get it from Australia. Australia has to get it from New Zealand. It's like a loophole.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I've been told about that because I know people from New Zealand and all, and one of my mates who does vaping just does bugger, come on. I'm just gonna say, vaping is kind of legal when you do that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah,
like
you should get on that. It's a lot cheaper, Reg. It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah. I might give vaping a go. Yeah.
Hey Tim, you should start vaping.
Vaping? I don't want to get.
You look cool, bro.
It's an addiction, though.
You need all the addictions you can get, Tim. You need to do something, because when I used to smoke, it was because I'd stand at like a bus stop when I was a young teenager and I'd be bored. And I just I want to do something while I'm standing here. That's why I started smoking. So when I see you, when I talk to you, Tim, you don't know what to do with your hands. So I'm like, well, just get on vape. You can at least do something to look cool while you stand there talking to me.
Well, so should I have
a vape party at the Unshackled Studios?
Should I
squirt out a lot of vape?
Should I have like a microphone in one hand and then a vape in the other?
Yeah, something like that. Something to do with your hands. I'm telling you, if your hands are busy on the show, vaping, microphone, computer, keyboard, all the viewers would come in because it looks like entertaining. There's a lot going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or become an alcoholic. Just start drinking every episode. Start smoking ice. I don't know. You need some shtick on this show.
No, that is illegal. Smoking ice on the show.
That's kind of mess up.
Him.
Water, ice cubes.
Anyway, I think I should have killed this 10 minutes ago. So thank you, Reg. Thank you, Senator Slayer. I'll see you all tomorrow night. I'll see.
I'm here for you anytime, Tim.
Wilms Front tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Melbourne time. I'm speaking with the director.
Wilms Front on next?
I just said. You just interrupted me to ask me what I was saying. Tim
when's it on next?
7 p.m. Melbourne time tomorrow night. YouTube and D-Live channel.
Is it a daylight savings yet?
Look it up yourself. I'm not. Yeah.
Is Uncuckables going to be on Tuesday or Wednesday? Because it keeps changing.
It's on twice a week now.
D is on at 8:30 tonight.
It's not tomorrow yet.
What? You made this show really awkward, Tim, for some reason. Just asking when your show was.
You're making it awkward. You both have made it awkward. Okay. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night, Timmy. I love you. Bye.
The Uncuckables.